Hello, I am Yin, and today I wanted to briefly talk about the ancient Chinese philosophy of Taoism, as it will be serving as the main base for my own philosophy, and will likely be incorporating it into most to every other video regarding philosophy merging. Though, maybe you could have guessed this already due to the name I've chosen for this channel. An essential part of Taoism, as you may have already heard, is yin and yang, as well as the balance of the two. A common misconception, it seems, is that yin and yang exist as two separate forces, good and evil, and while to a degree that can apply, they also exist within one another and can neither exist without the other. That is why, whenever you see the main yin-yang symbol, you also see a circle of the other color within the other. Yin and yang must always ebb and flow together. Yin often represents things like femininity, passiveness, intuition, the cold, water, matter, earth, inspiration, depth, things that are hidden, the moon, rivers, night, dependence, and the or subconscious, whereas yang tends to represent masculinity, assertiveness, logic, the sun, mountains, wind, the day, heat, energy, fire, the known or discovered, independence, and the aware. Now, while I personally believe leaning more towards one than the other is fine, as that could just be part of your personality, it is still important to have some degree of balance. For example, wake with no sleep is sanity training. Sleep with no wake is perpetually unproductive. Assertiveness without any passivity is unrelenting stubbornness. Passivity, or passiveness, without any assertiveness is to become a pushover, or without willpower. The world without fall and winter is unrelenting heat, and without summer, without summer or spring, never allows for warmth. Taoism is not just about balance within oneself, but also about the external world. How positive events could become negative, and negative could become positive. To never assume the worst nor the best, but understand that a situation could go either way, and to be able to mentally prepare for it. In fact, there is a short story about this very thing. There once was a farmer in ancient China who owned a horse, which his neighbors praised him for, always calling him so very lucky to have a horse to pull the cart. But all he ever replied with was, maybe. And one day, when the gate hadn't been latched properly, the horse ran away, and his neighbors cried out about how such terrible news this was, and how such bad luck this was. The farmer just replied with maybe. A few days later, the horse returned, and with 6 more wild horses. And the neighbors once again praised his luck. And can you maybe try and guess what the farmer then replied with? Maybe. Within the following week, while the farmer's son was riding one of the horses, it threw him to the ground, breaking his leg. The neighbors then cried on about how such bad luck this was, to which the farmer only replied with maybe. The next day, soldiers came and took all of the young men in the village to fight for the army. But the farmer's son was left behind, since he had broken his leg. The neighbors praised his good fortune, but the farmer still only replies with maybe. Just like the farmer in this story, it is important to understand that when some seems like either an opportunity or a disaster, it could very well become the other. As much as I appreciate and enjoy Taoism, I do fear people can perhaps misinterpret this as to be passive all the time, and yet that breaks the very philosophy of balance. Not only is it important to prepare for drastic change, but I believe it is also important to find joy and good fortune and opportunity in order to better enjoy and carry on with life. Enjoy what you have and receive, but at least mentally prepare for if things were to go awry, without assuming that it automatically will or stressing too much over if it were to, which is also part of another philosophy known as Stoicism. Now, there are some religious aspects and stories in Taoism, but I just wanted to focus on and summarize the philosophical aspects, since it'll play a large part in the whole of my own philosophy. There are other videos out there that explain Taoism more in depth and include the more spiritual and religious aspects to it. I hope you enjoyed and could make sense of today's video. And as always, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye, for now.